Колеги, доброго ранку. Ми розпочнемо.
Good morning, colleagues. We begin our working day. The topic of the first press briefing is legal support for fighters at the hospital in the framework of charity project legal protection of soldiers and their families. Colleagues, introduce yourself and the floor is yours. Good morning. My name is Larysa Bezuglova. I'm a chairman of the board of International Charity Fund Volonterska dopomoga. I introduce my colleagues, Varvara Milevska, and a lawyer and European legal service of Ukraine, and also expert on military issues, psychologist Sergiy Faterin. We had an event in Irpen military hospital, and we went over there we had a meeting with the wounded, and that Irpen military hospital and our charity and our project receives us not the first time. It was the fourth meeting during this year, and we consult and free of charge to all military men who are wounded, who are in the hospital, and we have the soldiers from all over Ukraine. Well, after surgery or rehabilitation is done in Irpen. At present, in that hospital, just imagine there are 99 wounded soldiers, and more than 15 of them, they are heavily wounded. Our defenders, amputants, and who are in a heavy state, they are prepared for prosthetics and for several surgeries, and that's why to those wounded, we went into the hospital and we consulted them over there, and Varvara will tell you about that. The point of our project of legal protection of soldiers and their families is free consultations we provide in orally and in written. And during the meeting we had yesterday, we had approximately 68 soldiers. I thank our partners who agreed, because we came not only to provide consultations, but also that friendly meeting means some warm relations. That's why we brought them something they were missing, like pizza, coffee, sweets, fruits. And at the beginning they were lost, and they didn't understand. So we thank our partners, and the chain of coffee stores. They gave us a very good coffee machine, and they put it. I don't know how many coffee they drank yesterday, but even our doctor came and thanked the partners, because the boys now feel better. And then we started. Varvara began to work, because the format was they join in, and somebody was brought. They asked their questions, and it was not only about them. The questions were not only about themselves, but also about their families and their land plots. Why IDPs cannot find a kindergarten. So there were a lot of issues discussed. And I would like to say networks of pizza chains, and they also. I was very happy that we just called them, and they agreed to provide them. And I told them, let us give you some documents that we have found and that we are working. That's not the first time we organize these events. And they told us, Larysa, sorry, you tell us about your soldiers, then we trust you. and just tell us where to bring our products. And I give the floor to Varvara Milevska, who is a lawyer, European Legal Service of Ukraine. Morning. Larysa introduced me already. It's not the first time when we cooperate, and we like it, and we are ready to help. We like to do that, and that is a very good legal practice. When we came, of course, we also lost, and we were ready to provide legal assistance, but soldiers were a little bit embarrassed. They didn't know what to ask and what kind of a format, in which format. And then Larysa came out and told them. So people started to come and to communicate. And the main issues they were interested in. There was material assistance to those what they could and legally should get from the state, because they were in ATO. Earlier, at the beginning of the war, so only the main issues were how to get the status of ATO, what kind of benefits do I have, what my family can get now or if I die. General questions, general issues. Our legislation was not good, and it's not good now, but that was at the very beginning, and there were a lot of nuances, a lot of gaps, and but luckily it's different. It's not these questions that do not dominate. Now, when we were there, many received the status of ATO fighters, participants of ATOs, and somebody received a status of ATO, somebody received a status of participant of, and that they don't care much about themselves but about their families, because when they are there, when they are in battles, their families cannot get those benefits they had when they were with them. There was a man who is a farmer, and while he was in ATO, everything, all his farm, they started to steal out, and there is no one to help him. Police and other bodies don't help, and it's a general issue, but it was positive to hear. It was great to hear from him that his commander helped him with this, and they sent a request, and so something was done already. And then we just helped them. We provided them contacts, and not all of them have internet access. So some general issues, not only about status or how to retire or anything related to the military service, but those are questions outside of war, like getting land in Kiev region, because we're in Kiev, and there is legislation, and decisions of the city council makes it difficult, but we help them, because there were a lot of people, and but we didn't have a lot of time. We noted those issues, not just we wanted not just to talk to them and finish them. The main point was to collect their questions and to analyze that, because people who spoke to us, they don't have legal education, and they have a problem, for example, and they just express it the way they see it, and for us to correct that a little bit, and we decided not to give them quick make oral consultations, but to prepare and to give them written answers. So we took the phone numbers and we took some emails, and if there were no email, we agreed that we would send it to the email of rehabilitation centers in Irpen. Also, we agreed that we would call them, we would communicate with them, and because we wanted to provide them good legal consultations. But we wanted to have more questions. There were about 15, and I reiterated that the main problem is how to get material assistance, financial assistance. And many of them told that we were in battles, and we know that 1,000 hryvnia per day in the battle. But on some days they paid us, and on other days they didn't pay to us. How to struggle with that? What should be provided for that? So there was one question about conditions, circumstances were different. Also there was a big issue, the big question from Aidar battalion, because it was a voluntary battalion. Only this year they just included them into armed forces of Ukraine like 2-3 months ago, and there are some nuances because people need to understand what they have after the war is over and after they are demobilized. So everything was successful. We are happy. We collected the list of questions we didn't have before. This is a big advantage for us. It's because of the fund Volonterska dopomoga, because we don't provide assistance like that in general, but to support soldiers with such trips, and we are ready to do that, and we prepare special cards of social cards, and those cards will include services not only to soldiers from NATO and their families. There will be a part related to IDPs, related to pensions. It's not related to age, but pensions to participants of ITO, and we would like to produce such a card, because we provide services to a certain number of clients, and those cards will be accessible for such people. And oral legal consultations, they can get it depending on the time of the day and as much as possible. Even written consultations will be included into those cards. It's important that people feel support and that somebody would like to help them. It's our interest, and we are ready to provide that assistance with the help of volunteers' assistance of Larysa Konstantinovna. That's what I wanted to tell. Thank you very much.
The one thing which I would like to add, let's say the European Judicial Service of Ukraine. You know, 1 year back I was the leader of this benevolent project, and he is always with me. And when we consider the issue who is going to provide the, let's say, the legal consultation and judicial consultation, when I left the previous place of work in this service of Ukraine, because they have the huge call center which works all over Ukraine, because the calls come to them on the phone, and this is free of charge call. And when we provided those kind of the gifts through this project, we were looking for a sponsor who actually would purchase this card, and it's what kind of target-oriented card to one of the fighters. So, as they say, a lawyer in the pocket ensures your comfort. So people have to feel comfortable and secure and safe. There were some calls during the night and the early hours in the morning. And some of the lawyers told me, Larysa Konstantinovna, can we call you back, let's say, in several minutes or half a year, hour? Why? Because if this is a complex issue, and where you may put it this way, like a consortium consisting of the lawyers who are seeking in the legislation the right algorithm of actions. You know, one lawyer is one vision, two heads are better and 3 is too much, it's not good. So in this case we had 3, 4, or 5 very bright and brilliant heads who were sitting together and work out the real proper algorithm of actions. You have to act this way and this way and this way. So I do appreciate the efforts of Mr. Grunenko for our cooperation, for the fact he's a partner in our, let's say, this kind of project. Sometimes, following a call, we go to the hospital to our guys, and I call him at night and say, Oleg, please, who is going to be a consultant? He just answers, I can give you any lawyer, but Varvara has been specializing in this specific issue for a long time. So will Varvara do? I say, yes, of course, because we already developed a very friendly relationship. I would like to make an announcement. Yesterday, during our meeting, a well-known cyborg, Anatoly joined us. His nickname is Spartanets, and we are very much grateful to him. Why? Because when our meeting started, 68 fighters, a big audience, and we are just slim and small women. Our voices to low to cover the audience, and he said, I'm such and such. I went through that ordeal, and I'm yours, body and soul. And so please perceive that with understanding. This is something which is which you need. So please, everyone has to think about what is given, what all this is going to give you. So we can say that we are already in partnership with the Coordination Center for the assisting the guys in ATO zone. We are going together to work on the next project, and Sergiy Faterin is going to tell more about that project. And this is kind of the benevolent project. You understand that we are, let's say, this kind of foundation. So the project is named Life Before and After ATO. Sergiy Faterin, instructor, consultant, dealing with the work with the PTSD. Well, a few words about the project which we developed together with the above foundation. This project is called the work before and after ATO. There are 3 different parts. Number 1, the work before. Why before? Because when a person gets into the ATO zone, he has to understand where he is now, what's going to happen to him, how to deal with his own fear and stress situation. This is really very important, first of all, because the soldier has to be prepared for that, and he has to understand what's going on inside him. And the second part, when the soldier comes back, rehabilitation of those fighters, soldiers, so that they can come back to reintegrate into our peaceful life. And this is very important to themselves, first of all, and to us as well, because we are talking about the huge powerful force coming back to, and of course we can say that the psychiatry changes. The person was peaceful citizen and he went to fight, and he comes back as a fighter. So it's very important that this kind of reintegration, such guys, take place or continue for a short time and very successful. We were talking with some of those guys. The people never open 100% immediately, and those people were fighting. It was very difficult to make that person talk what's going on to him. There were some questions as, what next? Now I'm this disabled person, I'm handicapped person. I was the expert in masonry, bricklayer, and he had a serious wound in his back, and he cannot actually work along the lines he used before the wartime. So he doesn't understand what to do next. On the one hand, he is the defender of his motherland, and hero, and the second hand, he's the father and the husband and the head of the family, and he has to understand what to do next. Next question of the families, while the males are fighting, and the rest of the family is waiting for him to return. but the person will return, and it will be a different person. We have to make sure that the family members understand that, not because he's going to be kind of disabled physically or whatever, but the stress situation make persons more, I would put it this way, more severe, if you will. And the family has to understand that he's a normal person, that rehabilitation within the family is also very important. And this the process of coming back and return to a normal, peaceful life, this is another aspect of our work. Those are three aspects we are going to deal with or to take care of, and together with the foundation we are going to continue this effort. Perhaps that's it. Sergey, please tell a few words about the 4 months of each of the directions. Okay, what pertains to the work before the ATO, this kind of workshop, lectures about 3 hours, just to convey the message. We don't need a longer period of time. Our experience says that the person who is overloaded with information cannot consume that information. We just have to tell those persons what he's going to encounter there, and this is enough. And the work after returning from the ATO zone, this is approximately 1 month long work in the let's say in those centers. This is the some exercise in the group and maybe individual consultations if need be, and also our work with the families within months. Let's say 4 or 5 meetings per month, again in a group in the family, so that people could understand, ask their questions, and be able to somehow to restructure and to rethink their attitude when they're going to meet those fighters.
This project we announced today, and we have it in Kiev and Kiev region. We have our partners, and there's a sanatorium that is ready to accept us, and Sanatory Peremoga, that's where the rehabilitation of soldiers is taking place. We'll cooperate with them. The third direction, when there is a rehabilitation of a soldier or medical rehabilitation, but also involve a psychological point. But I hope and believe that this project is planned, is scheduled, we have a budget. Why do I say this? Because we are looking for sponsors. We need to pay for the work of professionals of such a level, and it's correct and it's right. Thank God that the team of Sergiy Faterin gave us such discounts, because when we made the budget and I asked them to make budget for individual consultation, group consultation, and volunteership, it's very good, but when people of such a level participate in such projects, and there must be price for that. Three, honestly, thank you very much, because people, I'll tell you, they reduced the prices by 3 times average price. Psychologists of such level, you need to understand that they are connected to foreign currency. The team of Sergiy told us we are Ukrainians, and let's do it in hryvnia. And when we had a conversation, he told divide by 3 and it will be fine. So I asked all, and I dreamed that this project, which is scheduled, everything is scheduled to details and covers such spheres. The plan is how to return soldiers home. So we are looking for sponsors, for a general sponsor, for an information sponsor who is ready to walk through Ukraine. And we need to announce this project, and it should reach from a million big cities up to local councils, and those who are interested such partnership, find us on Facebook, Volunteer Assistance, or through hashtag life before and after, and you will find us. Our website is under development, so quite soon there will be our website, and our phone number is 0445 500 5354. We are located near Lukyanenko metro station, Melnikova 81, office 402, building 20. I believe that this is a good announcement, and it's very important for us that yesterday our boys, and I'm pleased to mention that when just common people come and thank you for consultations, for attitude, for such informal work of psychologists. They don't understand that they are psychologists. We don't tell them. We just tell these are volunteers who are ready to listen to them and who are ready to talk to them. And we prepared a little gifts for them, and they will remember. But that's important. We have patriotic songs, CDs, and then they told us, and they asked each other to listen. So we do that, and I hope that we'll find sponsors. If there is any question, you're welcome. Thank you. I had a lot of questions, but you answered them, colleagues, journalists. If you have any question. No questions. Thank you very much. Good luck, and we're always happy to see you in Ukrainian Crisis Media Center in the future. Thank you very much. Good luck. Colleagues, our next